The Holston Grand appeared to have been constructed for people who polished their vowels, people who spoke and posed when they were amused. There was a dress code, and champagne wasn't simply offered there, but I was standing right outside of it. The tux fit perfectly. I adjusted my tie in the mirror of a shiny black SUV that wasn't mine, not ostentatious, but enough to demonstrate that I belonged. Because after all, I had paid for half of this gathering. Sienna requested the ballroom, so I signed the check inside the lobby, which was humming with thin laughter and clinking drinks. It bounced off golden light fixtures and marble flooring. Saw Sienna prancing ahead of me in heels that clicked with assurance, and not because of me by her side. Heads turned as her outfit shimmered in gold, but she liked her environment to be managed. Filters, spotlight angles. So, I was only there for her. To help her co-workers not be too shy, we arrived early to the top-level ballroom, where the celebration was already in full swing. They were everywhere. Hard handshakes, tight smiles, far too many discussions about who was moving to which department and who just got a raise. I tried to avoid being in the picture, hovering at her side like a shadow, until I saw her move through the crowd like an expert, touching elbows, giggling, breaking away, floating. Trish, my work best friend with a high ponytail and critical eyes, pointed out jokes I knew weren't funny. Then came the voice that echoed over the gathering, too loud, too proud. Sienna had been nudged, and she laughed. "Oh, him? He's just my driver." At first there was laughter, but then a silence, long, heavy, unpleasant. They examined every inch of me, trying to make sense of the immaculate suit, the steady look, in relation to the title she'd just flung at me like a slur. The jacket tightened around my throat, but I didn't react, didn't storm out, didn't create a scene that wasn't mine. She turned her back. The conversations restarted, awkward trickles. I waited until the moment felt still again, like I'd just been kicked out of the military. Then I walked carefully, deliberately, until I reached her side. "See," I said, softly leaning in near her elbow. "Can we talk?" Instead of softening, she rolled her eyes, as if I had paused her momentum. We stepped out onto the balcony. Her back was to the city, arms folded like a queen being irritated. Noise fading behind us. When she finally turned to face me, her expression was blank, vacant, a mask worn too long. "You should be grateful I even let you in," she said. Cold, icy. No joke underneath it. After the words stopped hurting, after they just lay like dust on old wounds, I blinked and gave her a smile. Small one. Maybe I was still searching for the woman I fell in love with, the one who danced barefoot in our kitchen, the one who once told me she liked how realistic and grounded I was. But that version of her. She must have packed up and moved out long ago, so I nodded, not in agreement, not in defeat, just recognition. Then I turned, grabbed my jacket from the coat rack, and left without another word. I took my time passing the concierge and the lobby guests. I had entered thinking I was part of something, but maybe I was just passing through. A valet offered to call me a car, not in the way I expected. The crisp, night air hit me like clarity. I declined. I needed to walk. Let the city sounds fill in the gaps her words had left. I wasn't angry, not yet. That would come later. We met under the open sky, not chandeliers. At a city park basketball fundraiser I sponsored. I wasn't looking for anything that day. Just wanted to blow off some drywall dust and maybe smile again. And then she walked in. White sundress. Big sunglasses. Sienna Walsh. A name that sounded like rhythm. She strolled in like she owned the heat. Laughing. As if the day knew it would make space for her. She called the game with Trish, didn't ask for attention. It found her. She taunted. "Players through the mic. You with the beard, you play like you've got secrets," I pointed. grinned. That night she was the only person I called. No games, no fronts, everything felt like music. We exchanged playlists. She mocked my acoustic taste, said it was too emo, but later admitted it made her cry on long drives. We had rooftop dinners, midweek movies, road trips with no real destination, just snacks and time, and we talked about the future like we could. Draw it out of thin air and make it ours. But now, looking back, the signs weren't whispers. They were fire alarms wrapped in politeness, like the first time I was introduced as a contractor at a BBQ. 2 months later, she flinched when a host praised my work. "Maybe just call yourself a designer," she said. "Sounds more polished." She never visited my project sites, never brought me to her office again. "Dust makes me sneeze. It's boring. You'll hate it." She didn't hide her disdain. She hid me. I fixed her cabinets, paid half the rent, unclogged her drains when maintenance flaked. And somehow, I still didn't qualify. Darius, my best friend, he saw it. He warned me. "She doesn't want the man, she wants the image." I didn't believe him. I wanted to. I wanted to believe that showing up was enough, that love rewards the reliable. But all those flinches, all those missed calls, they weren't misunderstandings. They were the truth I refused to see. She knocked on my door at 9 a.m., but I'd been up since 6. Coffee, bitter on my tongue. The jacket from the Holston Grand was still hanging on the chair. The outfit I wore for a woman who didn't want me to act like myself. Through the peephole, heavy makeup, glossed lips, performing. She walked in like, "She still owned the space. Malik, please," she started. Then stumbled through her excuses. "It was a joke. I didn't mean it. Trish was there. I panicked." I said nothing. She hated silence. She begged with tears that never quite fell. Then she tried a new angle. "We should take a trip. Just us. A winery, maybe." I sipped my coffee, staring out the window. "No," I thought. "You don't get to write the ending this time." Her head spun around as I stood there, and her eyes met mine for the first time. I witnessed it, for the first time in a long time, not out of dread, not out of fear, but without the mask she wore so easily for them. I didn't blink. I didn't smile, not at the very individuals she worked so hard to impress. I buttoned my jacket and began to walk. The server hesitated awkwardly over the check. Trish looked between us as Brian shifted in his chair and slowly withdrew, his hand from her arm. Selena narrowed her eyes but said nothing. Cold and calculating. "I didn't need to storm in," she muttered. "She was doing the math, and she didn't like the answer." Sienna opened her mouth to speak, but no sound came out. I was the only one talking.